The sky was changing in a way no one had ever seen before. Late in the afternoon, strange shapes appeared over the cities. These shapes were giant ships glowing with blue and green lights. They moved silently and slowly as if they ruled the whole sky. People stopped their work and stared in fear and wonder. Many were scared, some prayed, while others just watched in silence. News spread fast from phone to phone. The biggest news stations stopped their usual shows and broadcasted live pictures of the ships. Everyone called them the peace envoys, but no one really believed they came to bring peace. Deep inside the United Nations building in New York, the world's leaders gathered in a large room filled with tension. The room was packed with generals, scientists, and diplomats who knew they had to decide fast what to do. The aliens had sent a message asking for a meeting. The message was calm but full of pride. They said they were from the Zarn Dominion and wanted to offer Earth a place in the Galactic Order. The Galactic Order was a group of many planets ruled by the Zarn and their allies. But the way the aliens spoke made it clear. They wanted humans to follow their rules and accept their power, not to be equals. The most famous military leader on Earth, Admiral Marcus Hawley, stood quietly listening to the message. His face showed no fear or surprise. Instead, a small, confident smile crossed his lips. When it was his turn to speak, he said with calm strength, "We are ready to listen, but remember, Earth is not a planet to be taken lightly." The aliens laughed loudly on the video call. They said they were sure humans would be impressed by the power of their battleships. Their ships were huge and could destroy entire moons with a single blast. The aliens believed this show of force would make humans accept their offer without any fight. Then Marcus invited the aliens to come closer to Earth. He said he wanted to show them something special, something that would change their minds. The aliens agreed, thinking they would just see some small ships and weak technology. But what they did not know was that Earth had been preparing for this moment in secret for many years. As the alien ships moved closer to the planet, Marcus and his team watched the screens carefully. In a secret base deep in the Arctic, a hidden fleet waited silently. The ships were covered in dark materials that seemed to swallow light. Their shapes were strange and unlike anything the aliens had in their fleet. The base was filled with scientists, engineers, and soldiers, all ready to defend their home. Earth's new battleships were not just strong. They had secret technology that bent the rules of physics. They could hide from sensors, move faster than sound, and even change shape to confuse enemies. The aliens did not know this yet, but very soon they would learn the true power of the humans. The meeting was set to happen in orbit, where the aliens hovered above the great cities. Below the alien ships, the world's people held their breath, waiting to see what would happen. Next, would Earth join the Galactic Order and lose its freedom? Or would it fight back and show the galaxy that humans are not weak? This moment was about to change everything. The sky had been shaken, and no one on Earth would ever forget the day the aliens arrived. Alien ships slowly moved closer to Earth's orbit with confidence. They thought they already knew everything about this planet and its people. Their leaders whispered among themselves about how easy it would be to control humans who seemed weak and unprepared. But humans had a plan that even the most powerful aliens could not guess. The alien commanders agreed to accept Admiral Marcus Hale's invitation to visit a secret Earth base deep beneath the frozen Arctic ice. They believed it would be a simple display of the planet's limited technology and little strength. When the alien ships landed in the vast icy expanse, massive doors slid open, revealing a giant underground hangar filled with strange machines and enormous ships. The aliens looked around with surprise, but quickly hid it behind forced smiles. Their scanners went crazy trying to understand the materials and shapes of Earth's ships. The humans led the aliens through the base, showing off some older ships, and then stopped in front of a huge dark vessel called the Leviathan. The Leviathan was unlike anything the aliens had seen. It looked alive with sharp edges and smooth curves, but made of a metal that did not reflect light. It seemed to swallow the light around it, making it look like a shadow against the walls. The aliens tried to scan the ship, but their instruments failed. They whispered in alarm that this ship was built with unknown technology that should not be possible for humans to have. The scientists standing next to Admiral Hawley smiled calmly. They said the ship was made from secret materials and used energy taken from gravity itself. The aliens did not expect humans to have mastered such things. The pride in their voices started to fade as they realized they had underestimated Earth. The aliens demanded to know where humans had gotten such advanced technology, but Marcus stayed quiet. He only said that humans never asked for permission before creating something powerful. He explained how for many years Earth had secretly studied alien ships that had visited before and used their parts and ideas to build better ships. Humans had learned from every small victory and every loss. The aliens grew angry and whispered about how this was a dangerous sign that humans could become a threat to the galaxy. They feared Earth's growing power, but still tried to hide their fear with fake smiles. They believed their own battleships were stronger and faster, and that humans could never fight in space like they could. But Marcus had seen something else. He saw how the aliens' confidence was fading. He saw their worry and knew the time was right to show Earth's true strength. Suddenly, alarms rang through the Arctic base, lights flashed and sirens screamed. Humans and aliens both looked around confused. Marcus calmly said it was a test of Earth's defense systems. The base's AI had detected hidden devices that could be a spy or weapon. The aliens looked uneasy. They realized Earth was always ready, even when it seemed peaceful. Then Marcus made a bold offer. He invited the aliens to come with him to the secret hangar where Earth's most advanced ships were kept ready to fight if needed. The aliens hesitated, but their curiosity and pride pushed them to accept. The hangar was massive, filled with ships covered in dark panels that seemed to absorb light. The Leviathan was just one of many in this secret fleet. The aliens watched in silence as the humans explained how these ships could hide from sensors, move silently, and strike without warning. The aliens understood now that Earth was not a simple planet. They had been preparing for war in the shadows, waiting for this moment. Their faces showed fear, but they did not say it out loud. The meeting ended with a warning from Marcus: the galaxy would not find Earth an easy prize. And as the alien ships left the base, heading back to their fleet in space, Earth's leaders prepared for what would come next. This was only the beginning. The real fight had not yet started, but the arrival of the aliens had already changed the future forever. Leviathan-class ship stood silent in the frozen hangar like a sleeping giant, but everyone who saw it knew it was far from harmless. The dark panels absorbed the light, making the ship seem almost invisible. In the dim Arctic base, the scientists and engineers who had built it watched with pride, but also a quiet tension, because they knew what this ship represented. It was a symbol of humanity's determination to survive and fight back against any enemy. The aliens had come expecting to see weak humans with simple weapons, but now they faced a power they could barely understand. The Leviathan was not just a battleship. It was a masterpiece of human engineering and secret alien technology stolen from past encounters. The aliens demanded to know how humans had managed to build such a ship. They said it was impossible because the parts and materials were outlawed in the galaxy. Humans never cared about rules when their planet was at risk. Marcus Hawley stood tall in front of the aliens and said with quiet confidence that Earth had learned from every defeat and every secret meeting in the shadows. The aliens tried to keep their anger hidden, but it slipped out in sharp words. They said humans were reckless and dangerous, and that building such ships would only bring destruction. Marcus smiled and said that destruction was better than being slaves. The aliens began to understand that humans were not just fighters, they were survivors who used their minds and courage to create weapons that were as clever as they were powerful. They looked closely at the Leviathan's design and saw things they had never seen before: ships that could change shape to confuse enemies, engines that could bend gravity, and shields that could absorb energy. The aliens whispered to each other with growing fear. They realized that Earth was no longer a weak planet hiding behind old technology. Earth had grown into a force that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. The aliens asked how many of these ships Earth had, but Marcus did not answer. He only said that humans never reveal all their secrets at once. The alien commanders exchanged worried looks. They knew a war with Earth would be like nothing they had ever faced before they began to plot secretly in their own ships. They decided that the meeting with Earth had been a mistake, and that the humans must be stopped before they could join the Galactic Order. The aliens planned to attack the Earth base and destroy the Leviathan-class ships before humans could use them. Marcus and his team were ready for this. They had expected the aliens might try something like this. Earth's AI defense systems were active and ready to protect the base with powerful weapons and smart drones. The alarms blared again, lights flashed, and soldiers rushed to their stations. The humans watched the space radar closely as alien fighters suddenly appeared in the sky. The battle was about to begin, but Marcus remained calm. He knew the strength of his ships and the courage of his people. The alien fighters attacked with speed and power, but Earth's Leviathan ships moved like shadows in the night. They used their advanced cloaking and gravity weapons to disable enemy ships without firing a single missile. The aliens were shocked and confused by this new kind of war. They had never faced an enemy who fought with silence and surprise. The battle raged across the Arctic sky. But soon the alien fighters were forced to retreat, leaving many destroyed and broken. The aliens understood that Earth was not just a small planet with old technology, but a rising power that would challenge the galaxy's strongest forces. The day ended with the humans victorious but ready for more. The Leviathan ships returned to their hangars, and Marcus looked at the stars beyond Earth's atmosphere. He knew this was only the start of a long fight for survival and respect. The aliens would come back with more ships and more weapons, but humans were ready to meet them head-on, because they were not just fighting for their planet. They were fighting for their future and the future of all humanity. The battle in the Arctic had shocked both humans and aliens, but the true story was deeper than anyone knew. The alien fleet had returned to their command ships, floating silently in space, but their leaders were angry and afraid. The Zarn Dominion had expected to scare Earth with their powerful ships and weapons, but instead, they had met a force that fought with skill and quiet power. The alien commanders called a secret meeting aboard their largest battleship. The room was filled with shadows and cold metal as the leaders argued about what to do next. Some wanted to attack Earth with full force and destroy the Leviathan ships before they could grow stronger. Others feared that would start a war they could not win. A younger commander spoke quietly but with fierce eyes. He reminded them of the scouts who had visited Earth many years ago and never returned. He said Earth was not just lucky but prepared. They had been watching and learning in silence. They had hidden their true strength for a long time, and now it was time to face the galaxy. The alien leaders could not ignore the truth. They realized their plan to dominate Earth had failed, and that the humans were becoming a real threat to the balance of power. The Zarn Dominion began to make secret moves to strengthen their own fleets and technology, but they also started to watch Earth more carefully. They sent spies disguised as traders and diplomats to learn more about Earth's hidden weapons and plans. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Marcus Hawley met with scientists and military leaders in a high-tech underground command center. The walls were covered with maps and screens, showing ships moving in space. The humans were calm but focused. They knew the aliens would return with more power, and they had to be ready. Marcus explained how Earth's strength was not only in its ships but in its people. The human mind was the real weapon. The scientists had developed new technology that could adapt and change during battle. They worked on ways to confuse enemy sensors, block their communications, and even hack their ships remotely. The human spirit was strong too. The stories of past battles and sacrifices were told to every soldier, reminding them why they fought to protect their home. The aliens did not understand this. They relied on fear and force, but humans used hope and courage to fuel their fight. As the days passed, more alien ships appeared near Earth's orbit, but instead of attacking, the aliens sent a message. They wanted Peace talks. They said they wanted to avoid war, but only if humans accepted their rule. Marcus listened carefully. He knew the aliens wanted Earth to give up its freedom and join the Galactic Order as a weaker member. The offer was tempting for some on Earth, but Marcus refused. He said Earth would never be a slave to any empire. The aliens grew frustrated. They threatened to destroy Earth's secret bases and fleets. But Marcus stayed calm. He had a plan. He ordered the Leviathan ships to move into hidden positions around the planet, ready to strike at any sign of attack. The humans were no longer hiding. They were ready to fight for their place in the stars. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: Earth had awakened. The galaxy would never see humans the same way again, and the true battle for survival had only just begun. The alien fleet loomed above Earth, like a dark storm ready to burst. The great ships formed a circle around the planet, blocking the stars from view. People watched from below with a mix of fear and hope. The tension in the air was thick. The leaders on Earth knew this was the moment they had prepared for so long. The Leviathan ships that had once been hidden deep beneath the Arctic ice began to rise from their secret bases. Some came from the oceans, others from hidden caverns on the moon. They moved silently like ghosts appearing suddenly in the blackness of space. The alien commanders watched the sudden appearance of these ships with disbelief. They had expected Earth to hide or surrender. Instead, they faced a hidden fleet ready to fight with advanced weapons and unexpected tactics. The first move was not an attack, but a message. Earth sent a powerful non-lethal gravity pulse that swept through the alien ships, crushing 12 of them silently without a single explosion. The aliens panicked, trying to understand this strange weapon that did not destroy but disabled and stunned. The humans did not celebrate. Instead, they prepared for whatever came next. The alien fleet tried to regroup, but Earth's ships were faster, more agile, and more clever. They used cloaking technology and gravity-bending engines to strike from shadows, disabling enemy ships one by one. The aliens realized they were facing an enemy who did not fight like them. They had never seen a species use silence and surprise as a weapon. The battle moved quickly across the space near Earth, with ships disappearing and reappearing in moments. The alien commanders shouted orders, trying to adapt, but Earth's fleet stayed calm and precise. Every move was calculated and every attack unexpected. Soon the aliens began to retreat, their pride crushed by the strange new tactics of humans. Earth had sent a clear message: they were no longer a planet to be bullied or ignored. The victory was small but powerful. The humans returned to their secret bases proud, but knowing this was only the start. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Earth was a new force rising from the shadows, and it would not be stopped. The people on Earth watched the skies with hope for peace but readiness for war. The future was uncertain, but the spirit of humanity was stronger than ever. Because sometimes the greatest weapon is not the biggest gun, but the mind and courage to use it well. The Leviathan ships went back into hiding, but the story of that day spread quickly across the stars and would be remembered forever. The aliens retreated into the dark silence of space, their pride wounded but their minds racing. They had seen the strength of Earth's ships and the cleverness behind the humans' tactics. But what worried them most was what they did not yet understand. The true power of Earth was not the Leviathan battleships or the gravity weapons. It was the human mind, the way humans thought and adapted faster than any technology could predict. In secret laboratories deep beneath the Earth's surface, scientists worked on something far beyond what even the aliens could imagine. They created machines that could learn and change in real time. Weapons that could think like humans, and shields that could block not just energy, but ideas. The humans called this the adaptive war system. It was alive in a way, using data from every battle, every movement, and every enemy tactic to grow stronger and smarter. The aliens had no answer for this kind of power, and that terrified them. The messages they sent were filled with warnings and threats, but Earth's leaders responded with calm confidence. They knew their greatest weapon was not destruction, but the ability to surprise and outthink any Enemy, the humans sent a clear message to the galaxy through a powerful broadcast visible to every star system. They said Earth was no longer a planet to be underestimated. It was a force that would protect its freedom at all costs. The broadcast showed images of Earth's hidden fleets, their technology, and the brave faces of their soldiers. But the final words were a promise and a warning. We are not your past. We are the future's problem. The alien empires began to realize that Earth's rise would change the galaxy forever. Some species started to approach Earth, not as enemies, but as potential allies. They wanted to learn from the humans and join them against common threats. The galaxy was waking up to a new power, one that did not follow old rules or fear old masters on Earth. Marcus Halle walked among the new ships, being built in secret shipyards. His eyes were sharp but hopeful. He knew the war was far from over, but humanity had taken the first step toward its place in the stars. The sky was no longer just a mystery, it was a battleground and a home. The humans had shown the galaxy that they were not afraid to fight, not because they loved war, but because they loved their home and their freedom more than anything else. The real story of Earth was only the galaxy was filled with whispers. After the broadcast from Earth, the alien empires debated fiercely what to do about this new rising power. Some feared Earth would upset the balance and bring endless war. Others saw a chance for new alliances and change. The Zarn dominion found itself isolated. Many species now reached out to Earth not to fight, but to talk, to understand, to prepare. Marcus Halle stood on the deck of the newest Leviathan-class ship, watching the stars stretch out before him. The ship was still growing, with new designs, new weapons, and new minds working together. The humans had changed the game. They were no longer the planet to be feared, but the planet that others looked to for strength and hope. Earth's future was no longer written by others, but by the courage and will of its people. A message came through the COM system from the Galactic Council. They offered a place for Earth among the stars, but this time as equals, not slaves. Marcus smiled and thought about how far they had come. The battleships that once seemed weak had become legends. The quiet minds that once hid in shadows were now the greatest force in the galaxy. The galaxy had learned to fear Earth, but more than fear, there was respect and even hope. The story ended with Marcus looking out at the horizon of stars and saying softly, Earth will build monsters in the dark, not to destroy, but to protect. Because this planet and its people had proven one truth, that no one could ever forget. Humans do not just survive, they rise, and they conquer in ways the universe has never seen. The war that was meant to crush Earth had become the fire that forged it, and the future was theirs to write the end.